Hey, this is for entertainment purposes only. If you like it, great. If it's helpful, great. Your experience may be different from mine. I was dropped off on a kindergarten bus instead of at my house. I got off at my dad's gas station. So I have had a lot of experience putting things on, trial, error. You might not be good at these things. If so, go to a dealer and have it done. But if you watch this and decide to do it yourself, it's on you, not me. I do think it can be done, but you may not have the experience. That's up to you. So I wish you the best, and I hope you enjoy this entertainment video. Take care. So I just finished putting on the headlights on my 2013 Acura RDX. This is the part I used from A1 Auto. Really like them because they were the same price as Rock Auto, but free shipping, and they're actually the person that will answer your questions, which I had to do once. I'm making this video ahead of time because I just want to encourage you to watch it all the way through. I made several mistakes, and you will see me make those mistakes. The tools I used included my wife to help me hold it up the bumper at the end. I needed a flathead screwdriver and a Phillips screwdriver. I needed a pair of needle nose pliers to be able to get the wiring loom parts on and off. I used a short 1/4 inch 10 millimeter 1/4 inch drive, and this is a 1/4 inch drive ratchet with an extension. And then I also used a wobble extension to help me get in some tight spots. Also used some Gorilla Glue tape, which I'll explain in the video, and a flashlight. But watch it all the way through. You'll see me make mistakes. The bumper is not hard to get off. It's more or less just problem solving. And wow, do they look better. They were so dim. Apparently something inside internally goes wrong, or they get dusty or old or dirty. And so that's the deal. So watch the video all the way through, and I wish. Okay, so we're gonna replace the headlamp assembly on both sides. Apparently these things inside here get dust or something in them. I don't know, but I have tried all kinds of cleaning. I've tried all kinds of new bulbs, and they're just getting worse and worse. So we're replacing the whole assembly. I don't see a video online specific for this model, so I'm just gonna try to do a quick one here as I go for my own sake, so I can remember where things are at, but maybe help somebody too. So I'm gonna take the battery out because it's in the way. I'm going to take this entire front part off. That just means these clips right here. And then I've set up a table so that I can kind of keep track of things. That's my method. So I'll put things in order that makes visual sense. Then after that, then I know there are always on these bumpers, there's always one screw here that needs to come out and one on the other side. So I'll try to show those. But this is about the 4th or 5th time I've taken off a bumper. I think it's the first time on this car. I've now taken off several of these. 2 of them are held right in here. I simply use a screwdriver to start them. Then I use this little device to help remove them a little quicker. But a screwdriver alone will do it. Next, what I'm doing is I'm removing just this front bumper area. And what I'm gonna do is, I noticed that one of these was holding this radiator bar right here, or the horn that holds the horn. So I did notice that. I don't know if that's correct. I'm wondering if that should go from the plastic piece down. So more thoughts. Took the battery out. All right, so here's what this looks like. You just pull this flat back. There might be a screw that's holding it in place. Mine wasn't. But then back in here, you're gonna see if I can show you. There'll be a rounded head screw like this right here. Now hopefully you can see that. And that is a little tricky to get to, but just change the angle on the screwdriver, and then eventually I got to it. And that's the main part that's holding this side of the bumper on. So here's what that screw looks like. It's kind of rounded head, you can feel it. And then from here, I believe there's clips right in here. Yep. And these are starting to break on me, but and then we're going to kind of peel that back. So okay, so once I pulled these, I guess I have taken this bumper off because I replaced the radiator one time. So, but it looks like I have broken these. They need to carefully take them out, and I don't know a method for doing that, but I have broken these tabs on 2 out of 3 of them on both sides. It's not good, but they slide in there. And then this side, I just gently but aggressively pulled it out. So I'm going to try that on this side and see if you can watch it. I'm going to kind of get in here. There we go. And once you do that, then both sides pretty much pulls out. And I've decided to leave the bottom on, and because I can access everything I need to get those headlamps out from here. So I'll show you more of those screws when we get a chance. Note to self, we took out the black bolt here and a black screw right here, I should say. Yeah, screw right there. And that's where those are. Now we're going to look around for other ones. See, I went and got the new one. It always helps. And basically I got this one right here underneath, that one underneath, and then there's one on the side. The one on the side being right there, it's obvious. The other two you have to get your hand underneath this lip and fish it out, feel them out. So I'm going to take those 3 out and then we'll see if it comes loose. Okay, so there are 3 bolts like this, one on the left right here with that bracket. I don't want to take that bracket out. I think that bracket is leveled with the frame and everything. But anyway, then there's another one about right here, back in there, straight up, and you can look at your new set and see them. And then there is about where the other one is. Then what I noticed is there's actually a tab up here, and this is kind of recessed down into part of the fender. Then when I looked at the new one, there's another piece, so I had to kind of lift up, just like there's a little plastic piece holding down. There was another piece down there, it looks like it's holding. So once I lifted it up, it seemed to come loose. Let's see if we can get it out. Yeah, I'm not going to do that with one hand. So yeah, I just took a little bit of jostling around, a little back and forth to get that headlight out. Then I've got to undo, of course, the things that the wires are connected to the lamps. I will notice that there is a hole right down here, and I'm going to assume that there's a piece down here that has to go through that. That might be where one of those bolts goes into. But I just like to take note of things like that and I would like to take note of how I took it out, kind of the angle. I kind of lifted up on this side and, go back in. So I got to go back in that way. I'm also noticing this little lip right here. There must be a reason for that. And there appears to be, yes, right here. So I want to take note of those things as I'm doing this. I'm going to now use pliers to remove these couple of little holds for the wires. There's one also down here underneath I got to get to. So I'll move the light around. All right, as a side note, I want to point out that I did get this from 1A Auto. I'm really happy with it. It looks right, everything. But they did tell me that the bulbs that come in the new one are temporary. They're kind of like placeholders. They're not the newest, strongest. They're probably just cheap ones. So anyway, I'm getting a new high beam. I'm getting a new turn signal and a new marker light. I'm going to run down to Walmart and pick those up. I did already get a set of these. I put one in. This is the main bulb that's in that lens. It's the Oxido, and boy, I'm happy with them in my Honda Accord over there. Really happy with them. They don't have any flicker or any of that, and they seem constant. And so I've put one of those in there. I'll put one in the other one. But just a note that you're going to want to get these bulbs, and you don't want to leave the ones in there. Some companies might not even come with any at all, but just a note to yourself before you start on the project. Okay, so little tips here. This plastic knob right there, there's also one right here that you can't see that's going in this way into this part of the fender. And then there's also a little plastic one. You might see it right there. Those all have to kind of go in, it seems like, before I do these 3, 1, 2, and then the third one on the side. I'm going to try to install this, then this loosely, and then put the third one in, or maybe go the other way. But just those nubs have to be there to get it installed. And then once I got those nubs in, those little plastic pieces, I put these in, not tightened down, but just there to hold it. And now I'm going to do the ones underneath. I hope that's helpful. Okay, so what not to do. Turns out this black piece goes on the outside of this metal, not on the inside. I hope I haven't hurt it. And this is why I did one side before completely undoing the other side. I used the other side to examine. I was like, oh, I've got that on the inside. So let's take it loose and try it again. Okay, I had such a hard time getting this and this hole lined up. That one's not a problem. I can see that one now that I've made my mistake and fixed it. I'm just going to take this bracket off, and that means we're taking a plastic piece off right down here in that hole, and it means taking off that right down there. And I had to use a wobble extension like this so that I could kind of get that corner in there, and then that wobbles to allow me to get in there. But it's just all 10 millimeter, if I haven't said that, and I'm using 1/4 inch on everything. It doesn't need much to take these off. So now I'm going to take that and actually put it on, then try putting this on. It's only one bolt, and well, then there'll be that one, but I'm thinking that I can get these two on if I just put them on where I can see them, because these are just impossible to line up without doing it that way. Let's see if it works. Okay, I'm gonna have to name this video "Learn from My Mistakes." So it's a good thing I did this, because now I can see, and you might be able to see, that is in the way. This needs to be shifted over. So I'm going to get me some screwdriver and kind of push this over. That's why I couldn't get through that hole. There's that black plastic blocking it. So yeah, check those tabs before you do this. Maybe after I do this, it'll go on easier. We'll see. Okay, no doubt this is the right way to do it. I should have taken it off. Hopefully I'll get this one on. But these were really hard to line up, and it turns out there's another tab right there, right above that nut. You might see that little nipple sticking out there. And then of course there's two of them nipples right here that's got to kind of slide onto that. You can see them there on each side of where the hole goes. So yeah, definitely take that off, and then let's try it. Let's see how it goes. Okay, so that totally worked. I took the bracket off. Made sure the nipples lined up with the holes, then put the two bolts in. Did not tighten them all the way down yet. This is lining up. Then as I put it in, I make sure this one lines up along with the nipple that's over here. And then putting this back in, this deep one back in here, where I pointed out earlier, was I did use, right there, yeah. I did use a wobble extension on a 1/4 10 millimeter. I was surprised how easy that was. That looked harder. Now I'm going to just put this back in, this little piece to hold that plastic there on the radiator cover. Yeah, that was easy. So definitely I would suggest taking this off, applying it, then putting the bulb in, or the assembly in with it. Let's try putting it back together and then do the other side. Okay, we finally got that on. Definitely want to put this screw in first. You want to take the bracket off, and then you put it on with these two up here. Don't put this one on yet, but then over here, put this one back in, reattach the plastic with the little plastic grommet like thing that goes in there. Then after you get those on, then come do this one. Make sure, of course, push all these slots in like we talked about, and then put these two on. So that's working. But I wanted to add something else that I noticed. This is a little part of the bumper, and it just sets on there, on that ridge. I put a piece of Gorilla Tape to make sure it stays on when I go to push this bumper back on, but it had fallen off down underneath the radiator, so I'm glad I caught that. Just take note of that yourself. Is that I am using a small flathead screwdriver to just go in here and gently pull up on this so as not to break the plastic, and I'm pushing with my other arm. You can't see while I'm holding the camera, holding the phone, but that just allows that. And then once that's the last thing, the whole thing begins to kind of cascade down. It's being held by the plugs and this nipple on this side, but I can now get it out easier. So All right, just a side note, and again, I'm not sponsored, I'm just a guy in a garage in Indiana, but anyway, I really like these because of the no flicker, and this is the one I got. See the check marks? Definitely want the 6500 white, but it's the H11, I believe, that this replaces. But I would love that they give me white gloves, and what I want to point out is that when handling bulbs, any of the bulbs, the grease from your fingers can get on them and create a hot spot, even if your hands are clean. Just the normal grease, human skin contact can create a hot spot. So I like that they gave me these gloves. I'm going to use them to put all the bulbs in. So I used one glove for one side, and then I came back with clean my hands and put them in this. So it's a good suggestion.